Hello and welcome to the first class of how to model the Megabox of Brawl Stars game in Zbrush, okay? So, let's start from the beginning. I hope you have at least a little bit knowledge about the interface of Zbrush. If you don't have, this will be a little bit hard for you to model, but if you have, everything gonna be okay. So I will start from the perspective that you know at least a little bit of Zbrush. Just the basics, the beginning of the basics, and okay, you don't need to worry, alright? So let's get started. Okay, first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna click in this box. Here we have the tool window. You're gonna click in this box and then you're gonna select Polymesh 3D here, okay? It's this really cool star. And then you're gonna click, drag, bring it up, but there is one thing I really like to do. Hold Shift. And then doesn't matter where you put your mouse, it always comes like kind of straight, okay? After doing this, you press T and then we get into the edit mode, all right? Nice, now you can just move around and see your object. That's, okay, really great. You can see that mine is white, okay? Probably yours gonna be red, but if you want to change, you have exactly what I have here. Here on this left, you have this material window, material box, and then you just click here and I selected this one on the right bottom, skin shade 4, okay? Then you just select this and then we are good to go. Next thing we are going to do, we're going to activate the polyframe, and then you can do this by just clicking on this poly F here, or you can hit Shift F, okay? This is a shortcut. You're gonna see that I do a lot of shortcuts, and feel free to write them down. You're gonna learn a lot and they are super handy, okay? So now you're gonna press W. And when you press W, this gizmo gonna come, and then you have this little engine here on the left, top left. And then you're gonna click on it, and then you're gonna select this polycube. You have a lot of options here. This is what we call primitives. So just select this polycube here, okay? So it's gonna bring this box. Really nice. So probably when you bring yours, it probably will look like maybe something like this. Let me try to replicate. Okay, as you see already, you're gonna have this little gizmo here on the top left, and this is the front view. And then what it does, you can add or remove some edges. Okay, and the first thing we're gonna do, you're gonna click and drag, and then you're gonna remove all the edges. Okay, we're gonna have a really simple cube here with no divisions at all. Okay. Now you're gonna hit W again, and it's gonna bring the gizmo back. Here you can move your object, okay? The focal shift, if you are moving your object and it's doing like this weird thing, this thing that you are holding, it's like going way more than it should, and the object is moving way slower. You just, here on the top of focal shift, you just click and drag to -100, and then you're gonna solve your problem. We have to shape the box now. We need to have the primarily base shape of our box, and we are going to start there. So I would say that the box looks a little bit like this. Here on the scale X, you have this little box here and an arrow. Put your mouse or your pen, if you are using a pen display, on this rectangle here. And then you're gonna scale it in this direction. I would say that the box looks a little bit like this. Then here on the Z scale, I would put more or less like this. Let me see, maybe a little bit more, maybe something like this, okay? But instead of we trying to guess what is the exact shape of our box, I will show you a really cool technique, which is working with references. If you go here on the top, you're gonna have a lot of options here, and one of them is this draw. So I'm gonna click on draw, and then you're gonna see that here on the top you have this little icon, and then if you just click on it, it will be pinned here on the right, so we can move all the options instead of just clicking and then navigating here. We can just pin here on the corner. So here on this several options that you have, let's go down, and then you have this front and back option, okay? You're gonna click on it. And then here, map 1 and map 2, you can see that we cannot click on it. The only thing you need to do, you will come here to this option, floor, which is Shift P. And then if you move a little bit around, you're gonna see that we have like a kind of green thing on the screen. This is the floor. Okay, we can activate the floor. Once you activate this, now you have access to this front and back option, front and back window here, map 1 and map 2. Once you click there, you're gonna have a lot of textures that you can use as a reference image. So I will hit here import, and I will go here to the folder that I have this reference here, which you have the link in the description of this video that you can just click there, and then you can download this image and other things that we are going to use for this video, okay? So you're gonna come here, click twice, and then boom! Now in the screen you have the image reference in the background. But you can see that this is really huge and the box that we created is really small. No problem. What I'm going to do here, I could just scale it up. But maybe I will scale the image down, and for doing this, here are the same options here on the window. You have this scale, and then we are just scale it down, more or less like this. I will put more or less like this. Let me try to align the sides here, and then I will here vertical offset. You can move a little bit. It doesn't need to be perfect, guys, okay? It doesn't need to be perfect at all. You just need to have a base, okay? Maybe here is fine, okay? I will not be totally perfect with this. Next thing we're gonna do here, still in these options, you're gonna have this fill mode here. So if you bring to 0, you can see nothing. So if you bring it to 1, you have one fill mode. If you bring to 2, you have a different fill mode. And finally, 3, you have another fill mode. I will leave this on 3. I think this is a good one. We can see pretty much what we have here on the on our 3D model and the reference image. If you want to remove the image, you don't come here and try to remove it by manually. You just hit Shift P, and then you have just the model. If you need to bring it back, Shift P again, and then you have it there. We can just use this reference. So based on that, let's leave this reference here, and then I'm gonna hit W. So we can, again, sculpt a little bit. I would say here that maybe these sides are okay. Now on the Y scale, I will move it a little bit up. And I think this is okay. I will hit now Shift P. And I will just make it a little bit more here on the Z scale. Let's make it a little bit more fattish. Maybe... let's see, this would be almost like a perfect square. I will move it a little bit less. Maybe you can copy this number I have here, 0.96, around this number. Nice, let's move to the next step now. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna hit D, and it's gonna pop up this message, and then you can just hit always yes, okay? What it does, it smooths our mesh. If you hit Shift B now, it will come back. And if you hit D, it will smooth. But this is a fake smooth, okay? This is smoothing our mesh, but it's a fake smooth. Smooth is not fully there. That's why we can come back to it. And then if you want to see a little bit more about these options, we're gonna come here to Geometry. And then you have here an option, Dynamic Subdiv. And then you're gonna see that this is activated. It's exactly what we did, D and Shift D, you see? So here on the Dynamic Activated, we can change the Smooth Subdivision. If we have 1 here, it will smooth less. If you have 2, it will smooth more, 3, and well, you got it, okay? Let's leave it on 2. But you can see that we lost our square. We have just kind of circle here. So let's go back to our square, and then here in the geometry window we can go here to crease, and then I'm gonna hold Shift and click, okay? Because if I click here on crease, you're gonna lose the other window, and if you click in another one, you're gonna lose the other window. So we are using primarily Dynamic Subdiv and crease. So if you want to leave both open, you just hold Shift and crease. Now we're gonna hit here this, where is this? Here, crease all. Okay, the crease, what it does, first things first, let's move this crease level to 1. And now let's hit D, and look, now our mesh is subdivided. This is a little bit more smooth, but you can see that this is a little bit more squarish, right? So let's put crease level to 2. You're gonna see that we have a really flat edges. If you put the smooth level to 3, then see, I will put the smooth level on a high number just so you can understand. So the crease level, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, you see what is happening? Depending of how much subdivision here you have for smoothing our model, and depending of the crease, you're gonna have a more hard edges. So primarily what the crease does, it hards the edges of our mesh. Now that you understood this concept of dynamic subdivision and crease, we can move with the modeling and then it's fine. And then I think this is really good. So now Shift P. So here in dynamic subdivision, you're gonna hit apply. And then, let me remove the background. And then here on the top on the geometry, you have here SDiv 3 SDiv. And then you can move up and down. You can go like D, D, Shift D, Shift D, D, D. You see that you can move like for smooth and not smooth. We actually don't need this now. So the only thing that we are going to do, we're going to hit del lower. And then now we cannot go back to that subdivisions anymore. Now that we did this, you can hit uncrease all. Okay, we don't have that crease edges anymore. Okay, and here, let's go. Let's just move on. Shift P, let's bring back our reference. So the only thing I'm going to do before move is hit the letter X. Okay, you can see when I press X, when I move here, you can see that there's little dots, okay? If I hit X, you can see that now we have symmetry activated. So whatever we do in this side, it's going to happen on the other side. This is really good. So we can be more precise with this. Now I'm gonna hit Control and Alt, and I'm gonna click and drag to select all this side, okay? Now we're gonna bring Gizmo back, right? And then holding Alt, you're gonna click in this little kind of map thing here. Let's just click here and it's going to move to this side. So let's just move it a little bit like this. Let's try to align this line here with this red thing here. That's more or less like this. Okay, more or less here, doesn't need to be perfect. I will also scale on the X axis, but warning, watch out to not leave your mouse or your pen here on the line. Make sure that you are clicking just on the square. You can see that when you do this, it's moving a little bit weird. It should be scaling by the center of our axis. The only thing you need to do is just hit this local symmetry. Just click here and then we can do this. And then you see that it's going to behave a little bit different. Okay, so we have this line aligned here with this red thing. And also the end of our geometry is pretty much accurate with the edge of our reference. So hold Control, click and drag outside to remove the mask. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but on the top. Again, hold Alt, click in this little map here. Let's move it a little bit up. Let's scale it a little bit more. And okay, I think this is really good for now. Now, remove selection. Let's now select the bottom. Overview. I think this is really good. Like click and drag outside, and then let's remove our mask. Okay, I will remove the reference background now. So we are pretty much done with the base of our Megabox, okay? So let's move on now. We will still have the polyframe here activated, and then we're going to use a really cool brush called Z-Modeler. And to find this, you just have to hit B and Z, and it's going to bring you these three options. We're gonna click this one, Z-Modeler. This is a really powerful brush. If you leave your mouse here on the edges, or on the vertex, or on the faces, and hit space, and hold space, I'm holding space, you can have a lot of different options that you can do. You have here bevel, bridge, crease, delete, extrude, the flip faces, inflate, and well, you have a lot of options, and each one of these options you have many other, well, you have a lot of things that you can do here. What we are going to do, we are going to leave the mouse here on the edge, and then you can see this by this line that you can see on the screen. Hold hold space, and then you're gonna make sure that it's in insert, and here on the bottom, single edge loop, okay? So what we can do, we can just click and hold, and then we can move edges that we can add here, we can add here, we can add here, you can do a lot of stuff, okay? So bring our reference back. We're going to create a line right here in this corner here. Okay, right here. And then we're gonna add one more here at the end of this this part here. So we have one here, one here. I think it's going to work really good. And yes, and then here, I know here on the sides, we just add this line here because this round part, it comes to this region of the box. But on the side, you can see that it ends before. So let's add one more line right here. You see there on the right or on the left, it ends a little bit more in this region here. So let's keep it here. Here on the side, I think we can use what we have here already, right? Okay, great. Now what I'm going to do, let's remove the reference by hitting Shift P. And then still with the Z modeler brush, you're gonna leave your mouse here on the face, okay? And then you can see that this is how it looks like when you leave this in the face, in a polygon. Then hold space. And then we're going to select this option here, poly group, okay? Single poly here. Automatically, when you hit a poly group, it will be in single poly, okay? So what is this going to do? You see, I'm going to select one here, and then I will just click. And nothing happened. Click, hold, and then just click Alt. This is a weird color. Let's click again. Okay, green. This is a really good color. So you see what I did? I changed the color of one face. So I will select another one and another one. So why it's important to have this different color? This means that we have a different poly group. And now if you hit Ctrl and Shift together, I'm holding them, and then click on the green, or better, click on the red. You see what we did? We actually have just the red that we can control now. And now if you hold Ctrl and Shift and with the mouse you click and drag outside and release it, now we have just the green. And if you click and then you hold Ctrl and Shift again and click back, you bring everything back. So this is really important for us working with polygroups, okay? So what polygroups are we selecting? We are selecting the ones of the example I gave to you, this and this and this and this and this. And then we're going to select this in the middle bottom, and then this one also. And then here on the sides, remember I have the symmetry activated, okay? We're going to select this and this and this and this. We are not selecting these bottom ones now. And then here on the side. And then here we are not doing like the front, okay? We are just doing a straight line here. Okay, this is really good. So now what we are going to do, we need all this top to be together with this green that we did. But instead of just clicking in all these squares that we have here, let's do like this. You're gonna hold Ctrl and Shift, and then you're gonna click on the red. And now hold again Ctrl Shift, but now you're gonna add Alt, and then with your mouse on the left button, you click and drag. If you unhold Alt, you have a green. If you hold Alt together, you're gonna have a red. And then with the red, you're gonna click and select all this top part, and you're gonna release the mouse button, just the mouse button, okay? Now you can release the keyboard. Nice. So now we have just the bottom. So what we are going to do, we are going to invert, Ctrl Shift, click, drag, release. What you're going to do now is Ctrl W, and then you can make everything that is visible one group, polygroup. Then Ctrl Shift click to bring everything back and see. Okay, we have a really good thing here. Next thing we're going to do, still with the Z modeler brush, leave your mouse on the face, hold space, and now you're gonna hit key mesh. But instead of a single poly, we're gonna hit this poly group all. Okay. First things first, the key mesh. I will just give you an example. The key mesh, when you click and hold, and then you move your mouse, it's going to extrude the edges. Okay, you see here. So let me come back. What we are going to do is selecting the poly group all. So if we are in the red, it's going to extrude all the red poly group. If we are in the green, it's going to extrude all the green poly group. Isn't this awesome? This is really cool, yes. So next thing we are going to do, when you are moving here, you just hold shift, okay? So you can lock, well, you can lock view, like lock front, lock side. So let's lock here in the front. Let's bring our reference back. I just realized here that maybe we should, again, bring the gizmo back, okay? I will hit X, so I don't want the symmetry anymore, and then I will hold Alt and click here on this little icon, and it will go back to the we'll go back to the middle, and you can just move the mouse here on this yellow square in the middle, and it's going to scale everything down way less, okay? And then let's move a little bit, like you see these blue edges. Let's try to match that. Okay, more or less here. Shift P to remove the background, and then press Q, and then you have access to the brush. You just put your mouse in one of the faces. Okay, I will put one of the side ones here, and then let's click, hold, and drag till we hit the yellow edges. You can see I will do a really big one. I think this is a good one. Let me remove the reference image and look what we have. Okay, this is really good. Now I will move a little bit by the side like this, and still with the Z modeler brush, you're going to leave your mouse here in the edges, not the vertex, not the face, the edges. Hold space, and you're gonna select bevel. And you don't need to change anything, just bevel. Now you click, hold, and drag, and we can do this bevel edge here, more or less like this. I think this is okay. And then holding shift here to lock the front, you're gonna see that this is not correct, right? They should be really symmetric here. So ZBrush doesn't handle really well these beveling edges when you have, depending of the situation. So for fixing this, you're gonna leave your mouse here on the vertex, not the face, not the line, but the vertex. Hold space, then you're gonna select this option, slide, okay? Slide by brush radius, and then okay. Now you're gonna hit S, and then you're gonna have a control of the size of the brush here. Let's make it really small. On the vertex, click and hold. Let's try to make straight here. Then let's try to make it straight here. This line here and this line here. And then you can see that I don't have the symmetry activated. So I will just Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and then X. Make sure the symmetry is activated. So let's do it again. Okay. Let's move like this, and then like this. Okay. And then I will move this one up, just because I want a straight line here. Now let's go to the other side and holding shift, okay? You just lock the view. Let's move it up. And then let's move this a little bit like this. Okay, the same on the other side. Okay, now here in the middle, I will just make a straight line, just because I want. Okay, we have a really great result what we have done here. Let's move on now. Last thing we're going to do, you're going to go back to the face, hit space, let's go back to polygroup, and then let's do one thing here. Let's do a polygroup with these corners. And then you can do this here, and this here, and this here. But now you see that we need to do on the other side also. So let's save a little bit time here. I will teach you one really cool feature. I will undo what I have done. And here on the top window, you have transform. And then you're gonna have this activate symmetry. When you hit X, this is the option that you activate, okay? We have symmetry on X, but we can do this on the Z. So what it means that if you click here, it's going to do it not only on the X axis, but now on the Z on the other side. This is really good. So let's go. Polygroup this one, and this one. Great. Now let's change it for inset, okay? Inset, instead of a single poly, let's put polygroup all, and then let's inset a little bit more like this. Let's see our reference. Okay, I think this is fine. Let's remove the reference for now. And then one thing that I am realizing here, sometimes it happens with Zbrush. You see that this this purple color is really similar than this one. I don't know if they are the same. But I don't want them to be the same. So the only thing that I will do, I will undo what I have done, and then I will again inset again. But before releasing the mouse button, I will hit Alt. I will hit again. Okay, orange. Yeah, I think this is okay. It's good to have a different color. We don't want colors to repeat over our edges, over our surfaces. It can happen sometimes. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Now that we did this, again on the face, hold space, key mesh, polygroup all, and then I will lock here the front view. Let's bring the reference back with Shift P, and then I will leave the mouse here on the face, click, drag, click, hold and drag, and like this. Let me remove the reference. Okay, I think this is really great. And one thing that I will do here, with this face, change it to scale, okay? Polygroup all, and then we're going to select here polygon center. I think this is the one that will work better. And then click and hold, and then if you move up and down, you can scale a little bit. I will move it up. I will scale it a little bit down. Not that much. Just, let me see. Maybe a little bit like this. I think this is great. Now we are going to do the same thing we did in the top, but in the bottom. So again, here on the polygon, let's select polygroup, a single poly. Here, click and hold, Alt, and let's leave. Okay, maybe this green is okay. This and this and this. And again, let's change to inset, polygroup all, just a little bit, not that much. And then now let's change to key mesh, polygroup all. And now, instead of we try to click and drag and try to decide how much of extrusion we want, you can just click and it will just extrude the same amount that we did last time we used this tool. And then again, let's move it to scale, polygroup all, and then let's scale a little bit down like this. Okay, great. I think this is good. Next step we are going to do, we are going to decrease here. Remember, we have used this before, so you know what it does, okay? So instead of hit crease all, now we're gonna hit crease PG, and PG means polygroup. Yes, polygroup, exactly these colors that we have splitted. So let's hit crease PG, okay? And this time, let's leave this on 2. And then here, dynamic subdiv, sorry, you can click here or just simply on your keyboard hit D. And then maybe that I will leave it to 3, maybe 4. Yeah, 4, I think it's a good number. All right, it seems that we have a really interesting result here. What I'm going to do, I will now just fix a little bit the topology of this object, so we have something a little bit more similar of the reference. Now you're gonna hit Control, and then you see when you hit this Control, you're gonna change these options here on the side. You're gonna, I'm holding Control, click here, and then you have a lot of different options that you can select. we have this one, mask pen. By the left of this one, we have mask lasso. We're gonna click on this one. That's what we want, okay? So let's bring our reference back, Shift P, and then you're gonna hold Ctrl and Alt, click and select these edges here, this vertex here. And then when you leave everything, only this is selected. So now you can hit W to bring the gizmo back, and then hold Alt, click in this icon here. It's going to move to the edges that you have selected, okay? So let's move this a little bit up. Okay, I think this is okay. Maybe a little bit on here. No, let's leave it like this. So now hit Q, click and drag to do a drawing outside, and it will unselect what we have done. Let's activate the dynamic subdiv by hitting D. Same technique, Ctrl and Alt, select this middle vertexes, and then hit W. Let's Alt click here. Let's move it down. Okay, this is good. Let's hit Q, draw outside, remove the selection. Let me see. I will remove here the dynamic subdiv, and I will select just these bottom ones here. Okay. W, move it there. I will activate the dynamic subdiv, and then let me move a little bit like to the center, and then a little bit down. Okay. Oh, Q, draw outside, remove the selection. Shift P, let's see how this is looking like. Okay. I'm feeling that we still have a little bit marked edge here. Let's select just this tiny one, and let's move it down a little bit like this. I think it's okay. Dynamic subdiv. Okay, I think this is good. Let's keep moving a little bit. Let's select this and put this more here. Another thing that I will do here, I will just leave here on the vertex, and I will slide this vertex here more here to the middle. Okay. Okay, this is not totally rounded. I will now select this middle one here. I will move it a little bit up. Let's bring the reference back, make sure that we are doing good decisions here. Let's move this one. You see that I am changing between dynamic subdiv and non-dynamic subdiv constantly. I will select this top one here, and with the dynamic subdiv activated, I will just move it a little bit to the side, and maybe a little bit, not up, just side. Okay, great. Maybe a little bit more this one. You see that what I am doing, I am trying to make it really smooth and beautiful. I think we now have a really good shape here. Okay, nice. So look what we have now. Look what we have. This is really interesting. Now, the only thing that we are going to do is I will polyframe, and then we remove the dynamic subdiv. If you check our reference, we have a really hard edge here. One thing that we can do is still with the Z modeler brush. If you leave in the edges, you just, for these options that we have here, you have here crease and then edge. This is the same crease that we have here, that this is a little bit more general. If we are using Z modeler, we can crease just one specific edge that we want, okay? So the only thing that I will going to do, I will crease this one here and this one here. Okay, and let's see how it looks. Okay, that's great. That's exactly the result that we want. Now I will crease this one and this one. Oh, you see, yeah, okay, that's good. This one and this one. And on the other side, you can see that the other side, we don't have actually the same the same topology, you know, like here we have on the going to the bottom, and on the back we have we don't have that. And you can see that this is creased for some reason. It's because we creased this one in the front, and we don't have the same in the back. This is because we have the transform here in the transform. We have the Z-axis symmetry activated. Just click the Z, and then if you want to remove this crease, you just hold Alt and click. Done. Then you don't have that crease anymore. Okay, I am still not happy with this curve here. So holding Ctrl, let's click here, move to pen. And then the pen is different. If you go to the selection that we do with Ctrl or Ctrl and Alt, it does a square instead of drawing what you want. So what we are going to do, we are going to hold Ctrl and Alt. Let's select this middle ones here. Okay, and maybe I want to move them up. But you see that we accidentally selected this one here, okay? So you can just change here for lasso, and then let's unselect this. Let's unselect this, and then if we move now, okay, way better. Let's bring the reference back, and then let's move it up to match better with our reference. Okay, I think this is good. Q. And all right, I think this looks way better. We have a really good result of what we have done now. And that's it. That's it for the first part. Let's stop it here and let's move to the part 2.